So last time we learned two of the important chords that we're going to be using, the G chord and the C chord. Now, the foundation of this is anchoring these two fingers, your third and fourth finger. These stay on the third fret of the first and second string, and they haven't moved yet. So they're probably hurting a little bit, huh? Starting to get that nice groove and dent in your fingers. Now, the next chord that we want to learn is an E minor chord. Remember in the theory, minor is the dark sounding chord, right? It's kind of the sad sounding chord. And so in the key of G, which is what we're learning right now, the song starts in G. We have our C chord. Now we're going to learn the E minor, okay? The sixth chord in the scale. So to play an E minor, we would play our G chord, and we're going to take that second finger and move it right underneath the first finger on the on the fourth string. So now what you're going to do is you're going to have on the sixth string, it's open. On the fifth string, you're going to place your first finger on the second fret. Same as a G chord. Now, on the fourth string, you're going to put your second finger on the second fret, right by the first finger. The next string, your third string, is going to be open. And again, your ring finger and your pinky don't move. So, once again, your E minor chord is going to be open. First finger, second fret. Second finger, second fret. Open. Third finger, third fret. And fourth finger, third fret. And it will sound like this. So, putting it all together, we have a G, a C, and an E minor. So, just as before, what we're going to do is we're going to practice taking our arm off and then putting it back up and playing a very clean note for note E minor. And then take it off and put it back on. Now, to practice the transitions in there, I would play this. I want you to do G to a C, back to a G, and then to the E minor. So, G, C, G, E minor. And that will get you used to going from other chords to E minor. Now, if you want to try a little challenge, your next step would be practicing G to a C to an E minor. That's going to move both of these fingers. Okay? So G, C, E minor, then back to the C. So as you practice those patterns, again, first work on getting the chord down. Then start blending it with the chords that you know. G, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, G to C, G E minor. And then do the next pattern. G, C to E minor, back to C. G, C, E minor, C. And then you can alternate, play around with some of those strumming patterns that you just learned in there. All right, we got one more chord to do, and I think you can handle it in this lesson. So we're going to go ahead and dive into it. The last chord that we need, we have our first chord in the scale, our G. We have our fourth chord in the scale, G, A, B, C. We have our sixth scale, or sixth chord in the scale, C, D, E. Now we need that fifth one, the D. So a D chord, there's actually two versions I'm going to teach you. Okay? So your D chord is going to be probably the trickiest one. We're going to start off by skipping the sixth string E. And the reason why we skip it is because an E is not in the scale or in that chord of D. We're also going to skip the A, the fifth string. So I kind of want to try and skip the E sixth string and the A fifth string. Okay? Then I'm going to play the fourth string open. Now for the other ones, my first finger goes on the second fret of the third string. My second finger goes on the second fret of the first string. And why did I skip that second string? Well, it's because our third finger is going to kind of cross over and be on the third fret in the middle. So, this is kind of a tricky one. You need to put your first and second finger out and then cross your third finger over to hit that second string on the third fret. And it should sound like this. A muted E, a muted A. Open D, first finger, second fret, third finger, third fret, second finger, second fret. Now, in relation to our G and our C and our E minor, my third finger never moves. My third finger always stays right there on that third fret of the second string. The difference between this is, again, these are the two fingers that are moving around. They're doing all the dancing. G, C, E minor, and now they're bouncing down here, and I'm going to lift my pinky off. Now, I said lift my pinky off. Here's a little cheat. There's a chord that's usually played in there as kind of a color chord, and it leaves the pinky on there. But I want you to get in the habit of still doing that second finger there, because when it is, it's just done for real quick. So let me explain. This other color chord is called a D sustained or a D4, okay? It is the same chord, muted 6, muted 5, open 4, first finger, second fret on the third string, third finger, third fret on the second string, and now we're going to leave the pinky on the third fret of the first string. But when you play that, usually you end up dropping the pinky the next strum to play the normal version. So let me let you hear how that sounds together. You hear the difference in there? So sometimes a lot of the songs that you'll do will probably hear something like that, or you'll see that written out in the chord charts. So I just wanted to explain that. Now, this one is going to be tricky to do. We're going to start off just like the others. Take your hand off and then do your regular D. Open, second, third, second fret. Take it off and then back on. Okay? Once you feel comfortable with the D, really you can transition from any of the chords over there. Okay? Probably the easiest one, because it keeps your first and second finger aligned, is your E minor chord. So next I would practice doing your E minor to your D. That's going to lift your pinky and then move those two fingers. So again, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Once you got that, have some fun. Throw in that pinky. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm only doing the pinky for 2 of them and then taking it off for the other 2. All right. Now that you got the E minor and the D chord, now you can start to put it all together. So a common rotation that you'll hear is G to C to an E minor to a D chord, and then back to back to G. So practice that. Now we can pull all of this together. We're going to go G, C, E minor, D. 1, 2, 3, 4. And keep rotating through that. So go ahead and take some time, practice through those chords. And in the next course, we're going to talk about how you can play those same 4 chords anywhere on the neck to get any note that you need to. We'll talk about that next. Until then, keep on picking.